Welcome to Our News, an informative program on the weekly progress of the collectivité. My name is Keisha Brooks. Stay tuned for this week's reports. Let's begin. Last Saturday, a brief medal ceremony in honor for firefighters who accomplished 20, 25, and 30 years of service was held on the waterfront in Marigot. 11 people received their medals in the presence of the President of the Rescue Corps and Interventions, SDIS, the Director of the SDIS, Commander Gums, the Deputy Danielle Gibbs, Senator Louis Constant Fleming, President Aline Hansen, and the Prefet Délégué Philippe Chopin, amongst others.
Conseil général remet la médaille d'or d'ancienneté 35 ans.
Okay, today we had a ceremonial for the amount of years in service that our firemen had. It goes from 20 years up to 35 years. We wish to do this here among the population because we are accustomed doing it in our fire station, but then we wanted to open up so the population can have a look at what we are doing in our little corner, I should say. And this is an immense pleasure for us to share this moment with the population, so the population in return honor we as how we serve them, and the elected members was also among us, and that's very, very, very nice and honorable to have them. Being honored today is something in every fireman, I should say, life or term of service is something very important. It's aware of how the elected members, the population, because it's in the name of the population, also said thanks. It's a simple way of saying thanks for the work you're doing.
I was very pleased about the ceremony for today. And I would wish that more people could come out to see what the Pompiers is about. My medal that I get today representing 25 years of service. I have the first one representing 20 years and the second one representing 25 years of service. And I'm very pleased about it. We are Pompiers. We are here to serve, save life, and to assist others. So we are very glad about, what we achieve and everything. I joined the fire department in the year of 1986. I was very young. I started as a rookie, and now I'm up to a corporal chief. And I'll encourage those who behind to continue to and achieve. Don't stop there, keep climbing.
The Court of Auditors is a national financial housekeeping in France, mainly in charge of controlling the regularity of public accounts of the state, the national public institutions, of public enterprises, the Social Security, and private organizations assisted by the state or by appealing to the generosity of the public. It shall inform the Parliament, the government, and public opinion on the regularities of accounts. The reports of the Court of Auditors are not binding. The court sits at Palais Cambron in Paris since 1912. And since 2010, the first president of the Court of Auditors is Didier Migaud. The Court of Auditors is a quasi-judicial body of the French government charged with conducting financial and legislative audits of most public institutions and some private institutions, including the central government, national public corporations, social security agencies, and public services. The court's three duties are to conduct financial audits of accounts, conduct good governance audits, and provide information and advice to the French Parliament and administration. The court verifies the good form of accounting and the proper handling of public money. Established in 1807, the court is a successor to the Paris Court of Accounts under the monarchy or Ancien Regime and had inherent jurisdiction to audit all public accounting officials and agencies. The Court of Audit is independent from the legislative and executive branches of government. However, the 1946 and 1958 French constitutions made it the court's duty to assist the cabinet and parliament in regulating government spending. The first president of the Court of Auditors, Didier Migaud, was on an official visit to St. Martin earlier this week. On this occasion, he attended a meeting with elected officials and also visited several sites, including Gallows Bay Port.
Well, on Monday, the 2nd of December, Mr. Migaud visited us here in St. Martin. He actually came to Guadeloupe to inaugurate today the building where the Cour des Comptes, the chamber, will be opening to the public, I think, in general, around Abim, I think, and Guadeloupe. So he came to St. Martin to visit us because he didn't do so in 2012 when he visited Guadeloupe, Martinique, and Guyana. Mr. Migaud is the high authorities over the Cour des Comptes, which is a jurisdiction that's supposed to follow up on the using of public funds because any collectivity, we get public funds, but we have to be very careful on the use of these public funds. He came with his general secretary and also his director and also the president of the Court Chamber that is specifically dealing with the collectivity of St. Martin and St. Mart's. And we met him, the Executive Council of St. Martin, along with the parliamentarians, Daniel Gibbs and Louis-Constant Fleming, on Monday, so we worked with him. He had a report that came out about a week ago concerning the fiscal affairs of St. Martin. We have to know that he made his observation concerning the fiscal status of St. Martin, actually. And one of his observations that he made was saying clearly that St. Martin is one of the territories of France that is paying like the less tax. Okay, for us St. Martiners, and like we know that, is the same person carrying the burdens of tax. St. Martin person would find him, unfair to say something like that. The fact that it's about 16% taxes compared to other places where it's 30%, 40% taxes paid. But we have to know that here in St. Martin, we do not have any statistics that permits us, not to be able to share around the taxes properly. We have to also know that there is a political, social issue in St. Martin concerning the RSA, because let's say the taxes that we collect, and the Vice President in charge can tell you that the taxes that we collect as income tax is under the amount of money that is distributed for the RSA. And with this public funds, we're supposed to manage it the best way we can. And that's why as president of collectivity and as leaders of the different pole of the collectivity, we are very careful in using the public funds. We do not do any we do not use the public funds anyhow in any way, because we have to one of these days render account for the use and the abuse of public funds. And that's why sometimes, civil servants would find it okay, we do bring them back to order when they're using, let's say, for example, a public car, because in the car is the population that is paying for the gasoline for that car. So we have to restrain our expenses in order to reach to the end of the year. That which we surely this year, 2013, did exactly that, so that we can go into 2014 with a little plus, because we should also know that it was a choice at the beginning of entering the collectivity to abolish what we call a postula fortune tax. In my mind, I told the Guadeloupe television also that it wouldn't have been my choice. My choice would have been to leave all taxes function like they used to function, and then at a certain point, then we could have said, well, okay, we are not going to do this tax or the other tax anymore. We saw that by taking over our fiscal affairs, the tax d'habitation disappeared. That's why the collectivity decided in 2012 to put back a 100 tax that will participate in the cleaning of the community, because when you're cleaning a community, when you're doing roads and when you're doing different affairs, well, you need money. So there, everybody equally have to pay the €100 tax that was criticized a lot. I would like to say that there is a cotton attempt that we are fighting to get for how many years now, and that the minister in charge of justice is supposed to give St. Martin, because there was a road tax as our neighbors on the Dutch side that we implemented. That money was going to fix back roads in St. Martin, and that we had to cut it off because the people were not paying it anymore, and we could not make them pay the fine, because we need this the coordinative for the collectivity of St. Martin. We are continuously sending and asking the Minister of Justice to intervene and to make sure that St. Martin get a coordinative. That also we reiterate towards the President that we would like perhaps by his intervention, by the Minister of Justice or by the Minister of Overseas Territories, to make sure that things that St. Martin is supposed to get, okay, that we can get them and things to be able to function on a fiscal basis. You must know that St. Martin have also a lot of young people, and that the young people sometimes have a lot of expense in going out and studying, and we have to provide for our youngsters. We in the collectivity are already trying to see who has competencies so that they can better their competencies and then accede to a higher level and be at a better post in the collectivity. But also, when we do not find that competence there, we have to make sure that we go and we train some of our youngsters that are outside so that they can come back to the country and be part of the government and the running of this territory.
President Arlene Hansen sent a letter to Prime Minister of France, Jean-Marc Ayrault, to show the insufficiencies of the European Regional Development Fund, ERDF, which should be allocated to St. Martin.
Concerning the European funds, on the last Wednesday evening exactly, I was the Minister of Overseas Territories, and I was in the commission that evaluates the public fundings and things that are given to the overseas territories. Anyone should know that if in a territory there is no statistics, there is no data, there is no way of reading and having a visibility of what you need for the country with figures that the 28,000, and I would put it really on the thing because I would like for friends to come back on that, is not enough to run St. Martin from 2014 to 2020. Because as St. Martin is here there today, there are the same roads that existed in 1960. There are no roads, no secondary roads have been built or nothing. And if we want to go to a better environment, well, we know that automatically we shouldn't have so much of vehicles on the same thing of the road. So there are definitely what we call a rattrapage culturel to be done for St. Martin. St. Martiners then have the same rights like all the overseas territories. They have infrastructures, they have roads and things, just like how we see in Guadeloupe, Martinique, Guyana, La Réunion, and all of those places. We are due to it. It is not begging, it's just having, we want here for us to be equal as anywhere in France, because anywhere in France we can find big swimming pool, we can find gymnase, we can find equipment to keep our children busy and to develop the talents of our children. So right like that, we definitely in St. Martin want the same thing for the St. Martiners. And we here in St. Martin, we cannot profit of those dispositions that they put in France for the youngsters because they have Emploi Avenir. We do not have university here, so we cannot put our kids to become teachers because they have to go Guadeloupe and Martinique. So we need to make sure that at least perhaps they can find a computer so that we can train them to be teachers by a computer. And different disposition that, okay, is not, will not be available for big countries like big region then like La Réunion, Guyana, Guadeloupe, or Martinique. St. Martin has specific issues and that you have to try to deal with on a special basis. There is no way of, like buying plain self to make the children go between the islands and things. So whereas via computer and different things, we can train our children here locally and whatnot.
As part of its task to promote regional development, the ERDF contributes towards financing the following measures: modernizing and diversifying economic structures, creating sustainable jobs, stimulating economic growth, attention to urban, remote, mountainous, sparsely populated, and the outermost regions, regional competitiveness and employment, innovation and knowledge economy, environment and risk prevention, access to transport and telecommunications, territorial cooperation, cross-border economic, social, and environmental activities, transnational cooperation, including bilateral cooperation between maritime regions, interregional cooperation, including networking and exchange of experiences between regional and local authorities. On Thursday, a wreath-laying ceremony was held at the Collectivity Park in memory of the National Memorial of the War in Algeria and struggles of Morocco and Tunisia. It celebrates the memory of 23,000 soldiers who died for France, French, and hockey, as well as civilian casualties. It was inaugurated on December 5, 2002, by the then President of the Republic, Jacques Chirac. In 2003, it was in memory of the inauguration of the monument that the date of December 5th was chosen to establish the National Day tribute to the dead for France during the war in Algeria and Morocco.
Attention pour les couleurs!
Ouais, mon capitaine.
Envoyez!
Aujourd'hui, les Françaises et les Français sont rassemblés pour rendre un hommage solennel à tous ceux qui, pendant la guerre d'Algérie et les combats du Maroc et de la Tunisie, sont morts pour la France. Cette période reste parmi les plus douloureuses de notre histoire nationale. Depuis 10 ans maintenant, le 5 décembre est une journée nationale qui invite à honorer la mémoire de ces soldats morts pour la France.
Every year, the 1st of December is used to raise awareness of the global AIDS epidemic, to support the millions that are living with HIV/AIDS, and to remember those who have died. World AIDS Day was created by the World Health Organization in 1988 to build international cooperation for the fight against HIV and AIDS. More than 190 countries around the world observe this day. According to UNAIDS, 33 million people are living with HIV/AIDS. More than 2 million of those are children. Since the beginning of the epidemic, more than 60 million people have been infected worldwide, and there have been more than 25 million HIV/AIDS related deaths. 2 million new cases are being reported each year. The goals of World AIDS Day are to increase awareness, improve education about HIV/AIDS, and to set aside and combat prejudices that come with the disease. World AIDS Day helps to remind people that HIV is an ever-present problem, and there are many things that can still be done to help. The red ribbon is a symbol for the fight against AIDS. Together Against AIDS is the 2013 theme. So how are the themes chosen every year? Since 1988, annual themes have been chosen to help endorse World AIDS Day. It is a way to connect the entire effort with a common message to pass on for that year. And as of 2008, the World AIDS Campaign's Global Steering Committee chooses each year theme after extensive consultation with people, organizations, and government agencies involved in the prevention and treatment of HIV/AIDS. World AIDS Day is commemorated each year with thousands of events around the globe. Memorial services, concerts, workshops, art shows, parades, and rallies are just some types of events that are planned each year. Here in St. Martin, several associations and organizations also held activities commemorating the day. Les Liaisons Dangereuses, which is the Health Center for AIDS screening, sexually transmitted diseases, and hepatitis consultation, testing, and treatment, has an ongoing AIDS campaign that started at the end of November and continues until December 10th.
So for the 1st of December, the association SIDA Liaisons Dangereuses do a flash test from many places on St. Martin, you know. So we were in Colombier for the last Sunday, and today we are for the collectivity to do flash tests for everybody who wants to be clear about AIDS for them.
Okay, so tell us exactly, is it a free test?
It's a free test, yeah. It's anonymous and free.
Okay, and tell us exactly what is the process of the test?
Okay, so I show you and I explain you there how it's working, okay? So at the beginning, you receive somebody there and just ask them if they have done some sexual relation without condoms or something like that, okay? And how long since they have done it. Maybe if for 6 weeks, we have to for the blood test, and for the flash test, you have to for 3 months. So if you have done a sexual relation without condom in 2-3 weeks, it's not working. You have to wait for 3 months, okay? And so now the people are there, and we're just using like for a diabetic thing, you know, it's the same thing. You take a needle, you just pick the finger, and you just take with the pipette a drop of blood, okay? So we don't suck the blood in the pipette, and after we do it in a 3 revelator. The first one, you put the blood, okay, in this thing, okay, the first one. After, you put it on the white stuff there. It's a cupule in French. I don't know exactly what it is in English, okay? The second step, you took the blue one, and the blue one, you drop inside, and if the test is working, you have just one blue point inside. If the blue point appears, that you say that the test is okay, and we can go now to the third step. We can explain you exactly what it means. After the third, if you still have one point inside, that you are negative. If you have a second point who appear there, you could be positive. It's not Real is just, it's the flash test is a TROD. TROD is test rapide d'orientation diagnostic. So in fact, if you have a first diagnostic of that, and you have done a blood test if you have 2 points there, okay? So after that,
And how long does that test usually take to come up?
2 minutes to 3 minutes max. After you can have some people who ask some questions about what happened about this and if everything okay, so we can.
Do you think that this test is much better than the other tests where you have to wait about 2 weeks, I believe it is?
That it's not better or not, it's just because you can move everywhere on the island for that. If you know the blood test, we have to go to the association and wait for. Now we can go anywhere on the island, and you can just for just waiting few minutes and they can do it. Yeah.
Okay, so tell the people where Le Liaison Dangerous is located in case they cannot get to one of the sites that you guys will be on.
Okay, so Liaison Dangereuse, it's in the center of Marigot. It's just close to the Catholic Church and close to the way to the sous-préfecture, just on the right side. The address is 6 Rue Fichot at Marigot.
Okay, and what time are you open?
We open every day 8 until 5 in the afternoon.
And tell the people, what do they have to bring in order to get tested, or what else can they find out there by the office?
So you can find many informations about addictions, about sexual infection, and we can do some, when you have more sexual infections. We do AIDS today.
Transmitted diseases, you can get counseling.
Right, yeah. And you can have for gonocoque, syphilis, and
So it's not just AIDS. It's
not
about
just
all
AIDS.
it's
Infections, sexual infections.
I know you guys are tired sitting in this traffic mayhem that has been created by the closure of main roads. Here's an update on the road construction. Officially, Rue Hollande, that's the main road that if you were coming from Bellevue's roundabout leads straight into Marigot, well, that road was docked to officially open Wednesday, December 4th, but due to unforeseen circumstances, it will open at a later date. But a later date soon, like soon. Just as a note, when that road does open, it will be a one-way for some time in order for the next phase of work to begin on Rue Victor Moras. And while speaking on that road, that's the road that's by the Collectivité's police station side. That road will soon be completed as well, and then they will cross over to continue road work. We will keep you updated on the road work as we receive further information. Before we close off this evening, just one last note. The Santa House located in Cripplegate is officially open. Families may visit the house daily from 7 p.m. until 11 p.m. And although it is a free admission, Christmas house owners state that monetary contributions are always welcome. This 30-year tradition has a different theme every year and is always an adventure to visit. Well, this does it for this edition of Our News. And for other information on the happenings of the Collectivité, be sure to watch the Chronicles with my colleague Steve Brookson on Mondays. This has been Our News. My name is Keisha Brooks, and on the behalf of the Collectivité of St. Martin, thank you for watching. Have a good evening.